Vergeet op z'n Teufel.
Was der Besure Teve?
Also geht verbringen mit den Donnerstag Nacht.
Ja, ich gehe verbringen in Mitzvah Hashem, aber deine Borderpark.
Was meine?
Ja, ja. I don't have a single human face. I'm looking at these gray rectangles. Says ish, oh, a mensch, a boss of Adam. I remember, gedenk das hier, Mr. gedenkst du das nicht, aber ich gedenk es ja. That the Rebbe complained that people look at him during davening. The Rebbe got that tiny.
So a Klippen.
Huh? So a tape, ja, ich muss das meis. Hat der Rebbe jemals gesagt, mich hat Davens der Mebischten steht und man guckt auf a Boss of Adam. Auf a Boss of Adam. Punkt das, ja. So I remember, ich das meis, die Maschpirim haben jemand verbracht wegen dem. Mich steht und man guckt auf a Boss of Adam. Es ist nicht Punkt, man guckt auf a Boss of Adam.
Kijk toch op een kurs?
Ja, der Telet ist aber man sieht Boss of Adam. Von der Meise von die, weißt du, der Polische, der Telet. In Chabad, der Verein, der Polische Meise. Es sind die Shalom. Als Greinem, der Maschpia, hat einmal der Mann beim Rebben, als man sagt, beim Verbringen, beim Tisch, als der Koschnitzer Magid, der Bissol Koschnitzer, hat gesagt, sein Sohn, geht in der Moshe der Koschnitzer, Moshe Jochen Bria. Moshe der Koschnitzer, als mein Guf ist nicht Gashmi, ist mein Guf ist Alakus. Hat der Sohn seine angetappte Hand, das heißt, Tate, ich feel Gif. How could you say that I'm touching your goof when it's Elokus, I feel Gashmi? So he said, I'm in tap mit gif, felt mit gif, because it's your hand. Your hand is a Dava Gashmi. So by Mele, you're feeling me as Dava Gashmi. I'm Elokus. Verstehst? And it's the same word. The Rebbe is nicht a boss of a dog. No, I'm a cook mit fleischige Augen, set nach fleischige Rebbe. Das gesehen haben wir gefunden, die originelle Matzevis von der Baditsche Verov, mit einer 3 Zin. I just saw today. It's just amazing. It's unbelievable. Sie gewähren eingesunken in der Erde, übergedeckt mit Chazerei. Ich weiß nicht, was sie dort gesucht, but they found the original Matzevis. Aber wir können...
Der Schlier dort, hat das getroffen.
Aber wir können nicht sehen, kein Wert. Sie schreiben, ihr seid nicht der Oisis, Mensch wie die Steine. Sie vier Matzevis, der Baditsche Verov hat seine 3 Zin. Der Baditsche Verov hat nicht solche gewesen zu a Shalsheles. So Tzadikim, was eine Seiche, als für sie kommt noch. Der Baditsche Verovs Kind, wenn sie groß. Es ist da, nicht am Wählen Brief von dem alten Rebben zu der Baditsche Ver, alles Talkus Bnoi. Der Sohn seiner ist weggefahren, wir sind nicht mehr.
Ja.
Und der alte Rebbe hat in Menachem gewesen.
Ja.
Ich habe mal gehört von einem, als die polische Welt sagt, die Schnabele sagen, als beim Häuser, bei dem Lublin ist gewesen ein breiter Tisch und bei der Schnabele ist gewesen ein langer Tisch. Du weißt, meint ein breiter Tisch ein langer Tisch. Du magst gehört das Wort. Ein breiter Tisch meint, als bei seinem Tisch da gesessen als größer Tzadikim. Aber es hat sich nicht gezeugt weit. Tschernobyl ist ein langer Tisch. Ich sage jetzt auch nicht, aber es geht bis Mashiach zu gehen. Das ist ein Wort. Bei der Lublin gewinnt ein breiter Tisch. I think the Tschernobyl ist. Efter der Koschnitzer. Die gewinnt Talmidim. Die gewinnt Talmidim von der Rebbe Melech und der Schmelke. Ja, 4. Der Mendele, der Menaver, der Chäuser mit Lublin.
Der 4 Talmidim. Der Chäuser, der Abderuf,
ja. Und der Koschnitzer Magid. Ich hatte mir gesagt, dachte mir, der Koschnitzer Magid hat gehabt einen langen Tisch und der Chäuser hat einen breiten Tisch.
Ja.
Anyway.
Wir verstehen nicht die.
Eine von den Sachen. Schnell Salmen, you understand Yiddish? Schnell Salmen Krieg, you understand Yiddish?
No.
Okay, so I was saying that, you know, we're getting ready for Gimel Tammuz, yeah? So, you know, what's a Verbringen for Gimel Tammuz? What's a Verbringen for Gimel Tammuz? There's 1,000 Verbringens for Gimel Tammuz, but one of the Verbringens for Gimel Tammuz is that everything is the tzaddik. Everything is the tzaddik. Like this, like the extreme of this is, forgive me for saying this, the Breslevet. Alles is the tzaddik. Finished. And the Rebbe taught us this. Everything is the tzaddik. The Chachaf Filu, the whole union of the tzaddik, is that he teaches every yid how to serve the Eibishter. But the koiches, alles comes from, everything comes from the tzaddik. And the derher, the sentiment that every drop of Elokus in this world, every drop of the continuation of Yiddishkeit is because the koiches that the tzaddik puts into people, this is what it is. And this is how you get ready for Gimel Tammuz. To have an upleg that we should truly understand how important and imperative and necessary the Rebbe is in our life. The Rebbe is not a luxury. The Rebbe is not a psapat peres. The Rebbe is bread and butter mamish. The tzaddikim are the whole generation. Whatever you have in a generation, in terms of emunah in the Eibishter and kiyum mitzvahs, it's alles the tzaddik. Everything is the tzaddik. It's all it is. It's the tzaddik.
The Sikha next week.
No.
So Sikha next week, Shabbos Koide.
As was?
The Rebbe's Maß mit die ganze Machloik von Koide mit Moishe.
Kulam Gedoshim, Chelik Dalet, yeah. Aber zum Rebbe hat es nicht. It's a feierliche Wort. Chacha feels the Taka Emes Kulam Gedoshim, but the Rebbe is an andere Geschäft. I just watched a clip. They sent around the clip yesterday, because then a clip from Goldberg. Yitzchak Goldberg. He's the Rosh Hashiva in, I think, Migdal Emek. He's the big Rosh Hashiva in Lubavitch. His father was Rabbi Yosef Goldberg, the famous Rosh Hashiva in France. So he told a story, which is a famous story, but it's good to tell over. That the Chelik Gimel Lekut Sicha is a Sicha about the Meraglim, this week's parasha. What's the Teichen of the Sicha? What's the Teichen of the Sicha? The Teichen of the Sicha is that there's an extra pasuk. There's an extra pasuk. The extra pasuk is that the Hanoshim Asher Sholach Moshe Losler Esaris, the people, the Meraglim themselves, who went Vayeshuvu, that they gave over Lashon Hara, they were killed. So the shaila is, why is there an extra pasuk?
No, it's verdrängt.
So Rashi explains. I know what Rashi says.
Rebbe.
Yo. How are you?
I'm good.
I gave you a very precious gift.
I know.
Yeah, okay. You should use a Gesundheit, like ich sagen, schon im Tevis. And you must find the Ashidach Tev Bekarv and buy a Yiddish Shtub. Yeah, we're in business. Yeah, we made a deal.
Yes, we did.
We certainly did. I want to tell you something. I have sons and I have daughters. And I have things that I got from the Rebbe, and my wife has things that I got from the Rebbe. And my feelings are that I give what I get to the Rebbe to my sons, and we give what my wife got to the Rebbe to my daughters. The dollar I gave your father, I got.
Right.
The dollar I gave you, my wife got.
That's so sweet.
So this is a dollar the Rebbe gave a lady, and you should know.
Sie spielt sich wie eine Tochter.
You should know there's a difference between the relationship between the Rebbe and men and women. Just like it says in Chumash, men were afraid of the Rebbe and the women loved the Rebbe.
Really?
Yeah, really. Because the relationship, the Gesundheit, with good health. Yeah, the men it was a different relationship. Yeah, with women, the relationship was it was a lot of ahava. Ahava. And I'm sure it's reciprocal. In other words, you love the Rebbe loves of Tzarik. As I'll give him alle brachas. B'teva nidavan nigle. Hashem should make your life easy and peaceful and beautiful and healthy and blessed and fruitful and successful and rich.
Amen. Thank you so much.
If he's going to do what he wants, he might as well do it with plenty. Okay, we Mitzvah Hashem, with this whole Meshigas Love, you'll come to us for Shabbos in Mitzvah Hashem. That was another, if you want. No pressure, if you want. Okay, one of my daughters told me that she knows you. It's possible you met one of my daughters in camp.
Which one?
She's, I think, Shayna. She's around 15 or 16. Is it possible that you were someplace where there were girls a little bit younger than you?
in Sternberg?
I don't know. My daughters never went to non-Chabad camps. They must have met you at a convention of some sort. Because she knew the name. She knew the name
Maybe
garnished.
my cousin.
Ah?
Maybe one of my cousins.
No. Maybe. But she said it was someone a little older, like 18 years old.
That's you.
I'm 23.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't today. It was a while ago.
When you were 18.
Oh, I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's nice to see you, B'chol Leifen. It's nice to
Thank
see
you.
Yeah, Besudas Tevis. Okay, für nutzen der Dollar gesund der Hate.
Thank
Okay,
you.
God bless you. Yeah, Besudas Tevis. Besudas Tevis in alle Sachen.
Amen.
So what am I talking about? Oh, so
You're talking about Saudi.
so the Rebbe said the Sikhe was that the Meraglim were different than the rest of the Yidden. How? The rest of the Yidden spoke out against Eretz Yisrael. The Meraglim spoke out against Moshe Rabbeinu. And therefore, the rest of the Yidden, the Taka didn't go into Eretz Yisrael, but they stayed with Moshe Rabbeinu in the Midbar. The Meraglim were killed because they were not just Meitzei Dib ala Oretz, they were Moshe Rabbeinu. So the Rebbe said in the Fabrengen that the herof of this is that Moshe Rabbeinu could daven for a Yid as the worst Avera. The only Yid he cannot daven for is for a Yid who attacks Moshe Rabbeinu. Because Ein Kategen Asas Haneged, right? So that Siches and the Kuta Siches, it came out Muga, and they wrote that herof, and the Rebbe wrote Harei ze heipach kol linyan HaChasidishkeit. I think kol linyan, the Rebbe took it out. That is, you could start up with Moshe Rabbeinu, and nevertheless, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be spelled for you. You know that the Rebbe Rayatz, the Friedrich Rebbe, von ein Zeiten hayem yem, that the last Beis Nissen, Tafresh Pei, the last Beis Nissen of the life of the Rebbe Nishmas HaYidin, of the Rebbe Rashab, B'chaim Chayosef Al-Madain, so the Rebbe Rashab said Chassidus, Smucham La'ad, Kedake B'Kedesh on his Yom HaLedes, and then he said to the Friedrich Rebbe, Ich gebe dir a bracha, I'm giving you a bracha that you should also say Chassidus on your birthday. So the Friedrich Rebbe said, Aber betnai es soll sein bechesed berachma. There's a condition. That you bechesed berachma. Now what's that chesed berachma? So most people think chesed berachma means that the Eibusher should have chesed berachma the Friedrich Rebbe. From what I can tell, the chesed berachma of Friedrich Rebbe, like aber dem Eibusher given knapper chesed berachma. What's made chesed berachma? Chesed berachma means that the Rebbe should only see good in Chassidim. That's what chesed berachma means. A Rebbe should only see good, he shouldn't see bad. When our Rebbe became Rebbe Yud Tovshin Yadav, it's in the Kutasichas. The Fabrengen of Yud Shvat, the Kutasichas, Chelik Beis and Deisaf is, at the end of the Fabrengen, the Rebbe said that the Rebbe the Shver, to Oivgenom and Atnai Bam Taten, the Friede came to a condition by his father, when he was Makabal the Nesiyas, that the condition of the Nesiyas was Betnai as Leibechas de Verachim. And the Rebbe said it in every way except saying it befedish, that the Rebbe is making the same condition. That he's going to see only good in Yidden. And I read it in a Shema someplace. I read it in a Shema that Beryl Unikol of Ashal, Beryl was very close to the Rebbe, was in the Rebbe's room in the Erste Yarn, and the Rebbe was reading letters. And the Rebbe says to himself almost, and Beryl Unik hears it, says, Anes, as ich hab sich untergenommen, zu sein auf Yidden nur gute Sachen. The Rebbe says to himself, but somebody heard, it's a nes, it's a miracle that I decided to only see good in Jews. It's a nes, as ich habe untergenommen, to sein nur meiles wegen Yidden. So the Eibusher gave us a tzaddik, weißt du, der Sicher von Shoftim, du weißt Sicher von Shoftim und all, weißt du? Yossele.
Nein.
The Sicher of Shoftim. Wegen Nevuah. You don't know the Sicher?
The English.
Shoftim, Tavshin and Aleph, it's a Fabrengen. The Rebbe spoke about Nevuah. But I was there. And the Teicha that Sicha was that the Rabbeim were Nevi'im, and the halacha of a Navi is Elef Tishmon.
No.
That mitzad echad, until a person is determined as a Navi, you have to be menaseh him. And once he's determined as a Navi, you're not allowed to question him anymore. And the Rebbe said that all the Rabbeim were Nevi'im. The Friedrich Rebbe was a Navi. And then the Rebbe said, Navi shehed le Navi achashu. Navi is also a Navi, which is Nimshach in the Der Shal Yachar. The Rebbe spoke about himself, that he's also a Navi, because Navi shehed le Navi achashu Navi, the Rebbe said. But in that Verbringen, I remember the words, die Wörter, ich gedenk, wie der Rebbe das gesagt. I can hear the Rebbe saying it. Zocha deirenu. Ad der Eibishter hat me Manne gewen abal Bchira. Was mitzad Atzmei is shalei be'erech anchi ader. As soll sein Shefet ader, und Yeyetz ader, und Navi ader. Those are the words. But the Rebbe said, Zocha deirenu, und der Deir was Zeicher, there was Zeicher. Has Hashem appointed a Baal Bechira, a man with free will. But that Shalei be'erech anchi ader, he has no business being in this generation. That he should be Shefet ader, and Yeyetz ader, and Navi ader. And then the Rebbe spoke about Eilov Tishmon. But in the Sikh, it's in Lashon Kodesh. But I remember how the Rebbe said it in Yiddish. He said the Hebrew word, Zocha deirenu, ad the Eibish that the Manege ven Abal Bechire, was mitzad Atzmei ad the Shalei be'erech anchi ador, as soll sein Shefet ader, und Yeyetz ader, und Navi ader. That's what a tzaddik is. And this is what the Chassidim haben man dem ader head. I had a conversation with some other people with Verbringing about the Hachonis for Gimel Tammuz, and so you can say weiter. So I told them this word, that there's a word for Shmuel Munkes, famous word for Shmuel Munkes. What's the word for Shmuel Munkes? That the Alter Rebbe was going to be arrested, and the Alter Rebbe ran away. Yossel, could you put yourself on mute? Yeah. The Alter Rebbe was arrested, and he ran away. And he met the Shmuel Munkes in a motel in a different shtetl, and he asked the Shmuel Munkes if he should be arrested or not. So Shmuel Munkes said, "Yeah, I think he should be arrested." So Alter Rebbe told him, "It's Pekuach Nefesh. I could move to Germany; they'll never find me, and I'll be able to live." So the Shmuel Munkes said again to the Alter Rebbe, "I think he should be arrested." The Alter Rebbe said again, "It's Pekuach Nefesh." The Shmuel Munkes told him, "Bist du a Rebbe, vetter ken kel nid. If you're a Rebbe, a bullet is not going to hurt you. Bist du nicht kein Rebbe, if you're not a Rebbe, bist du Vertag Keul. You deserve a bullet. Vertag gegeben der Recht zuzunehmen von tausenden Jiden a Geschmack in Elam Haza. Who gave you the right to deprive thousands of Jews the pleasures of Elam Haza?" Now, what does this word mean? What does this word mean? That if you don't have a Rebbe, you live a life of Taivas and Tanugim. You have a Rebbe, you have suffering. What does that mean? What does it mean? So the teretz is a pashta word. A geschmack in Elam Haza doesn't mean pizza. A geschmack in Elam Haza means a wilne shas mit das hamavar tei. But there's normal. You could be the most ehrliche Yid. But as they say in Borough Park, forgive me, Yasaleh, to God and to light. Be normal. As long as there is a tzagot and light, in other words, you're like everybody else, and everyone likes themselves, and everyone likes everybody else, and you could be the highest level of Yerushalayim, the highest level of Chassidus, the highest level of Torah, the highest level of Nimishur Sadin, but it's a Amachaya. It's Amachaya. That's called the Geschmack in Elam Haza. A Rebbe ganvet by Chassidim. He takes away from Chassidim. Why? Because the Rebbe is a Machadish. A Rebbe tut of anayas. Every Rebbe creates a new derech and avodas Hashem. And when the Rebbe is machadish, right away the world comes out against it. Chudesh usin min haTorah. This is the Rebbe once told a Satmar Yid, who said to the Rebbe, Chudesh usin min haTorah. The Rebbe asked him, "Wie viel Zimmern ich bin beim Taten in Ungarn? Wie viel Zimmern hat ihr?" The Rebbe said to him, "How many rooms? Yeah? Wie oft hat der Taten in Ungarn gelehnt a paper? Und wie oft lehnt ihr a paper? Yeah. Wie oft hat gehad Juice? Juice? Und wie oft hast du Juice? Mit Tamol, Chudesh usim min haTorah, verstehst? Die 10 Zimmern mit einem Chandelier, mit einem heißen Mikve, das ist nicht kein Chudesh. Aber mit Zayim ist ein Chudesh usim min haTorah. Anyway, so this is the word. Listen to this word. A Rebbe brings us to the world of Chiddush. And right away the world reacts. It gets nervous. Bepnimius on Yarim, the world reacts. Because the Vayenu Ames Asipim, the Welt geht a Tresel. I never write a Chiddush and Welt a Tresel. There's a word, I'll say this Maimer Amuzger. It says in Teire Shalom. It says in Teire Shalom. The Sichas of the Rebbe Rashab. The Alter Rebbe Gvena Atzmi. Which is even more than a Pnimi. Everything was on the inside. So the Rebbe Rashab then asked the question. Eba Zeif, was hat sich gekeichelt? How come when the Alter Rebbe davened, when the Alter Rebbe said Chassidus, there was such a spoiler, he would roll on the floor, he would pound his hand into the wall. So he said, Weil given der Erster. Because he was the first. What does the first have to do with Keichlen? The Teretz says the Alter Rebbe was a Pnimi. But the world was not a Keli for what the Alter Rebbe was bringing into the world. And because the world was not a Keli, the reason by Malten Rebbe, given a Keichlen Zach, by the Alter Rebbe, there was this his spoilers, is because the world wasn't ready to receive it. So listen, Herabart, kommt again a Rebbe, macht a Chiddush. So right away you have Maiminim and Masmeilim. Yeah, some people say, oh, no good, treif. Then you have other people say, okay, it's kosher, but I don't want to eat this dish. This is kosher, I will not test. Yeah. So yeah, das. Then you have a few Mishagoyim, was klappen sich zu, and not only is it kosher, they want to eat it. Those people are called Chassidim. And they're Moisa Nefesh for the Rebbe's Inyan, for the Rebbe's Chiddush. And they're going against Seder HaOlam. And because they're going against Seder HaOlam, the Rebbe was gegavet der Geschmack in Elam Hazeh. This is the Pshat. And it's very hard. Was? Weil der Welt sagt, sag alles gut, you do Hasipper, aber essen darf man das nicht. Verstehst? Danach geht durch 50 Jahre, 60 Jahre, 70 Jahre und alle seine Maske mit Teres Emes. Und alle seine Maske mit muss es tun. Aber jetzt kostet es nicht ein Geschmack in Elam Hazeh. Jetzt ist es geworden Elam Hazeh. Verstehst? When it comes to a Rebbe, you got to get in on the ground floor. Those who were Mekusha to the Rebbe from the first day, when being Mekusha to the Rebbe was going against the reality of Elam Hazeh, Legamre, and therefore Tsuginim and a Geshmak and Elam Hazeh, that's the Tetzah Chassid. And that's what Shmuel Munke says Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe got Chassidim. They were very great people. But the Alter Rebbe taught them how to serve the Eibush, how to daven in a way which meant that they couldn't have a Geshmak and Elam Hazeh. They were his people. And the Vort is Azoi. It's like you plant seeds and you want it to grow and you want that there should be Gedulim and Gedulim and Gedulim at Seif Kol HaDeiros. So you need to have fertile earth. You need to have Sadazru, a field was man can pflanzen as it wächst. What is the field that the Rebbe plants in where it grows? So there should be Gedulim and Gedulim at Seif Kol HaDeiros. His Chassidim. The Chassidim was gehen nach dem Derech von dem Rebbe, was folgen dem Rebbe, the Derech Slula, what the Rebbe taught us. When it's not popular, when it's not angenommen, when it's in the Geder of Chudish Usam and HaTorah, they are the Sode Zruah on which the Rebbe plants his seed that later they grow. Everybody eats the fruit. The ganze Welt esst the Peres. Aber die Inje von Zunehmen der Geschmack in Elam Hazeh ist nicht da. Verstehst? So now I saw you talk to the kids, right? They have over here Shnei Zalman and Eliezer Tzvi and Chaim. These kids were born after Gimel Tammuz. Then the Rebbe nicht gesehen. They're Lubavitchers. One of the hardest things, B'chlal for Anash today, but especially those who physically did not see the Rebbe, is to have this Nakuda. That there's an aspect in the Rebbe which requires a Mesiras Nefesh. People will say this, and I agree with it. To be a Lubavitcher, to do Mevtzoyim is not the Mesiras Nefesh. Kochen sich Mashiach is. Kochen sich Mashiach. Even on the Kochen sich Mashiach. This is the Zugenom and Geschmack in Elam Hazeh of Tovshin Pei. Of Wednesday side. Kochen sich Mashiach. Der Herr in der Minyan as Misha Eini Maimen Bei. Oder Afil as Maimen Bei, aber Ve'eine Merchake, Lebi Yosei is the Din Kach V'Kach, as they steht in Rambam.
Ich weiß nicht. Ich habe getroffen, habe ich nicht zu Hause Hand.
Ja,
Ich habe gefragt, wusste das der Rebbe?
ja.
Sagt mir, teilt schreiben und es mir kalb die Gewinnen.
Noch einmal, erzählt je, hier, wir gehen nicht wieder. In Kronheiz ist gewesen ein guter Ried, was geheißen der Kirch. Hat eine große Library mit Sforim. Ich denke ihm noch, on President Street.
Der Koslever ab.
Ja, aber wir haben gelebt auf Crown Street. Leben uns hat gelebt in Araller. Der Araller, ich war ein Eden bei der Koslitzer. Hat einmal gesagt, mein Taten, auf den Reben hat gesagt, als ich wollte gehad, sahen Firma, oi wollte ich gemacht, geht. Hat nicht verstanden, so was der Rebbe nicht aus der Firma, auf, weißt du, auf von der Datsche und so weiter. I'm on the phone, for ringing. You need me? Space, I don't know, another hour. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. Yeah, okay. Oh, thank you.
Aber ich hab gehört, dass das kleine Rav hat einmal gesagt, also dort zwei Jiden muss naden auf der Welt.
Ja, ja.
Ich und der Lubavitcher Rebbe. Ich mit meinem Jibbitzel und er mit seinem Hitler.
Ja, aber du weißt, was der Rebbe ihm gesagt? Mein Vetter, ich war ein größer Skalene Chassid. Er heißt in Stern, mein Mamas Bruder. Er hat gelebt an Crown in Brooklyn, hat er gelebt.
Ja.
Kein mein Vetter hat mir gesagt, aber ich habe es mit ihm genommen im Borough Park, hat er nicht gewollt wegfahren. Er hat sehr lieb gehabt, er hat Poshet nicht gehabt, Kaminien. Aber er hat so lieb gehabt, Kronheit, für was? Weil er fängt reingehen in 77, hat einmal gehabt am Minien. Und der Rebbe die angesagt, aber es haben einmal zustand, Krishma hat beim gedeutet schon Zeit, Krishma. Er vertat im Davnen, als er gehalten bei Le Mans Tiskiru, Le Mans Yerbu, hat mir gesagt, hey du, verstehst? Und es zugekommen zum Sofen war Jöme zusammen. Et einmal, ich denke, in 77 Euchet, mein Tat hat gelost, ich hab gerade von ihm abgebrochen. Mein Tat hat mir gelost, er soll mir nehmen zu dem Skalene, ich hab gerade von ihm abgebrochen. Er wird reingehen oft zum Reben, weißt du, vergehen oft. Er kommt in der Mitternacht, und wird mal reinlassen zum Reben. Er wird kommen zu den Verbringen nicht in der Mitte. Und für viele Picture, der Rebbe sagt, ich sehe das und der Kleise steht dabei. Ist gewähnt einmal in Yechid, das ist gedruckt, in Shemes auf Mechaverecha. Als er gesagt hat, ein Wort zum Reben. Was hat man Maid gewähnt in seinem eigenen Demus? Hat der Rebbe ihm gesagt, macht sich nicht klein. Der Rebbe sagt der Skalene Rebbe. Macht sich nicht klein. Es ist gewähnt für den Mashiach. Ja, ich bin ein Chassidischer Jid. Ich bin ein MS Jid. Sein Sohn, was er weg nicht lang, hat er weggeschickt der Malachamov, als er 50 Mal. Als er von Mal hat er gedacht, sterben und gelebt. Het maar een geld geweest.
Der Rebbe hat doch sehr rausgenommen von Twisse.
Ja, so da Yedua, ja. De Polische wissen das euch jetzt, und nur die Lubavitcher wissen das.
Ihr seid doch, also, ich weiß, ich bin ein Polisch.
Ihr seid mehr Lubavitcher wie alle Lubavitcher. Ich will dir erzählen ein Wort. Wenn ich gehe, was ich auch gesagt habe.
Hallebai.
Ich gehe auf die Gule Schleime. Ich will dir sagen ein Wort. Als when you get as Alice is, I'll talk in English. I know I'm talking a little lot of Yiddish, so it's a little bit difficult for some people. That we started the Fabrengen with a word. And the word is that everything is Rebbe. Chavre, if you want to participate in the conversation, show me your face. By one guy I see a kitten, by another couple of guys I see a gray rectangle, but one guy I see a square black. I should see her face, Chachik. That the Alter Rebbe passed away. The Alter Rebbe left a hira that only the middle Rebbe should be Rebbe. Lapel the Baron Strashel opened up his own business, his own shop, his own firma. And he had an incredible charisma, he had incredible magnetism. And a lot of the Alter Rebbe's Hasidim, including some of the big ones, went to the Strashel. And the middle Rebbe was makbet. The middle Rebbe wasn't happy about it. And one of them was a Becheskel Droyer. Becheskel Droyer was a Yid, but by the Alter Rebbe he would daven. 6, 7 shot tug with his bondenus and the Vegas. And when he went away to the Strashale, had to verlassen on the Megen, and he couldn't daven. And he would walk in the street screaming, Vu is Chatzkel. Vu is Chatzkel. Says, a jede getan l'chayre Chabad, avoid the pnimius, avoid the bekoech atzmei. Avoid the bekoech atzmei ahin, avoid the bekoech atzmei aher, the ganze avoid the bekoech atzmei is Rebbe. Verstehst? Was ist unser Schuss, Yosele? Was ist unser Schuss? An men ken epis ton. Das ist unser Schuss. Als men ken epis ton. Als men ken epis ton.
Man ken epis ton, als man gesehen dem Jid.
Und viele haben es nicht gesehen, dem Jiden bei Bosser Hagashmi. Und man hat ein Scheiches mit die Daldam, das ken epis ton.
Ich rede als mir, als Polish.
Ich verstehe. And I'll tell you what I mean. Amol is a Chosse gewesen, am darf etwas sein. Zu sein etwas ist sehr eine große Madrege. Heint, zu gefunden a Jid, als wir nissen, was ist etwas, ist kemat nicht bei Metzies. Aber etwas tun, kann jeder. We can all do, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. Etwas, was mit dem ist, hat man ein Scheiches mit einem. Etwas sein ist etwas eine große Sache. Etwas tun, jeder kann etwas tun. Jeder kann etwas tun. In allen Jahren. In allen Jahren. Der Rebbe hat gelost, dass sehr viel in Jahren. Der Rebbe gibt das sehr viel in Jahren. Jeder eine kann sich finden an Ihnen, mit was es kann sich ausdrücken, als hat ein Scheiches mit einem Rebbe. Aber man darf einmal zu verstehen, als alles ist der Zadig. Darf man chush. Aber der Herr, als alles ist der Zadig. Ich habe gehört von einem jungen Mann, hat es mir gesagt allein. When the Rebbe made it a con of learning Rambam, so he was a boch in yeshiva. So he came to his mashpia with a Mendel Futterfast and he asked to learn perek, Shlosh Perek Layim, or perek Achad Layim, or Sefer HaMitzvahs. So the Mendel told him, I will learn in alle drei. So he said to Reb Mendel, the Rebbe didn't give such a hatzah. The Rebbe said, other Shlosh Perekim, other perek Achad Mitzvahs. So Reb Mendel said, was verstehst du nicht? Drei Wegen, was man kann sich verbinden mit dem Rebbe. Heißt, drei Wegen, was man kann sich, ist doch meidendig. Drei Wegen, was man mit dem Rebbe. Das hat der Herr. Drei Wegen. Es ist da 100 Wegen, man kann sich mit dem Rebbe. 100 Wegen. Die Gemara sagt, hab mal Blicke. Das Kesser Kohona ist nicht Anna Lobanov. Kesser Malchus, was ist David? Kesser Teir ist Munich bekennen, so wiss. Und wer es will, kann es nehmen und so weiter. Und verbindet es mit der Viecher der Teir, gegeben worden beim Midbar, zu sagen, dass er Mokum Hefker. Und dasselbe sagt mit dem Rebbe. Der Rebbe gibt so viel Heroes, Bachayim. Und jeder eine kann kommen zu gehen und nehmen eine von den Heroes und machen von dem Epis. So like I said to you before, I think this is a good word you should know. Epis sein is a hoiche madrege. Epis ton can jeder. Epis ton can jeder. We can all do something. And the bottom line is, the Unterschied is, am will sei zugebunden zum Tzadik. You know the story of the Pelisher Rebbes, right? Yosle has the Shaykh of the Pelisher Rebbes. That's what a vision the guy told you, that a Rebbe ain't ever tell Chedai with Bekar of Hashirim. He told it to you, Pepe Mole. He was joking or he was serious? He was serious. If a hat lieb Shirayim tes an Oisher, which one is his? Of was geht der ein? Well, the Tat is gegangen, Minnig of his Heidi Biadaini. What's the word? Yeah. Ah! Mamish. Pink Tazoi. Ich hatte gewollt, oh, von einer Meise. The Pelisher Meise. What's the Pelisher Meise? That a Yid came, the story happened in Europe, with 100 yards a long time ago. There were a lot of tzaddikim. And he came to his Rebbe hysterical. What was the hysteria? That in the shtetl where he lived was a poritz. A poritz, a goy, very rich, very powerful. And this Poritz had a son, or whatever it was. And the Poritz's son hat sich verliebt in seine Tochter. A kosher Bas Yisrael. And now, if you don't let her marry him, can das eine pogrom echt. Aber leidach...
Geschem mit Chamoy.
Ja, Schem mit Chamer, ja. Also Geschmack genommen, Chamer, Punkt, das man darf, ja. Die Schalas, was ist nicht Chamer mit Sus. Schem meint Acherein, weißt du, Mr. Schem meint the plates, Acherein, was ist das in Chassidus? Anyway, so they came to this Guterid, hysterical. What should we do? That the Paret wants to marry my daughter. And you cannot say no, and you don't want to say yes. You know that, right? How does the Leib Sodas get named Leib Sodas? Leib Sodas means Leib, the daughter of Soda. Wie kommt Leib Soda? Since when do you call a Rebbe by his mother's name, Leib Sodas? The Alter Rebbe gehat Chassidim was geheißen Reuses, noch ein Schwieger. But that you carry your Schwieger's name, you can verstehen, but why would you carry your mother's name? It was the same exact story. That the Galach, the Poritz's son, there was a gorgeous Bas Yisrael was son, was a young kid. She was very pretty. And the Poritz's sons they're verliebt, and they didn't know what to do. There was an old man in town who was a bachelor, an alterid. And they decided that they're going to marry the two of them together. And when he'll come, he'll say, and the plan was that after the Poritz will go away, he'll give her a get to it and marry somebody else. Anyway, they got married. In the middle of the chassanet, the Poritz's son rolls in, and he saw that it was too late. So after the chassanet, the old man says to this young girl, let's go to the Rav, I'll give you a get. She says, no. We got married, das Meisha Yisrael, you know the famous word. You make a get pturin, you're destroying the Eibishter's name. So she said, I married you, we're going to get married together. And their son was Reb Leib Sodas. So she was this very, very beautiful girl, married to an alte Pfeifer. Hat nem gerufen of the Mama's Namen. The verstehst, they called him his Mama's Namen Leib Sodas. That's the story. Anyway, so getting back to the other Maise, that this Chossid comes to his Rebbe, and he's screaming that the Poritz's son is after my daughter, I don't know what to do. So this Rebbe sent a shliach to his Rebbetzin. One of the Gaboim went into the Rebbetzin, the shliach is from Rebbe. What was the shliach? If the Rebbe would want, would she be prepared to take from the Rebbe a get pturin? If the Rebbe would want to give her a get, would she be willing to take it? So the shliach comes into the Rebbetzin and says the Rebbe wants to know that if the Rebbe would want, would she be prepared to take it? So she was very shocked by the question. But she said that if this is what the Rebbe's ratzon is, I am prepared to go along. So the shliach came back to the Rebbe and said that the Rebbetzin said that if this is what the Rebbe would want, she's prepared to take from the Rebbe a get ptur. Sure. So you already have a knife for a get. Then he turns around to this man and says, okay, I'm going to divorce my wife tomorrow, but let's make the valet noim. And he says to this father of this girl, we're going to make a kinyan that after I divorce my wife, I'm going to marry your daughter. So they made a kinyan, they said malotov, they broke a plate. And then he starts to scream that the Poritz hat sich verchepet mit mein Kalle. The Poritz started up with my Kalle. And he was screaming a chutzpah. Anyway, the guy dropped dead within days. Now, why? Without this trick, he couldn't pull it off. I mean, this was a meise. And Vashetzach, you understand, he didn't give his wife a divorce. They broke the tnoyim, and they had to appease the Kalle, and so on. But when you connect someone to a tzaddik, a goy hod dot kein shaykhs nicht. You connect someone to a tzaddik, so the goyishkeit has no connection there. And this is really what Rebbe Gimel Tammuz Rebbe is als derselbe nekuda. That everything is tzaddik, everything is Rebbe. And like I said before, I really believe that there's a lot of truth to this statement. That Amol is given shayach as a chassid zol zayn epis. Should be a somebody. Today, that someone should sein epis is nicht kapashet amais. Aber ton epis. Das can jeder in. We can all do something, right? Even learning chitas. Even learning Rambam. Pashat. It connects us to the tzaddik, and the connection to the tzaddik is a shmira from alle zvarim loitayim. I'll tell you a very, very unpleasant story. I once was at a Shabbaton for the yeshiva. The yeshiva made a Shabbaton. They brought all the teachers together, and they needed a speaker, so I was the speaker. And I sat by a table. I was there myself. So I sit with another mishpach, and there was a father and a mother and a bunch of kids. So the mother tells me that she has a psau. She works in an office in Borough Park. And she started to learn chitas with the women. That Lubavitcher Tanya. In the office is a Lubavitcher girl who's poshet not frum. She's poshet, she's a Machalel Shabbos Achman San. She's Mustama Nechel Trefis. So when she started the shir in Tanya, she joined the shir. This not frum girl. And this lady who told me the story saw that this not from girl has a familiarity with the Tanya. She's not strange to it. So she asked her, she says, what do you mean every day I say chitas? Sie hit nicht kashabes, aber chitas sagt sie. Verstehst? Sie hit nicht kashabes. But she says chitas. Das hat sich mir überlegt. Now you could look at this and say, was what kind of hashkafa does? Oh, but the emes is, I'm not chas v'shalom making a tzedakah for the fact that someone is not Hashem Shabbos. But this is going to keep her and her children not safe kol adeiros. Because when you're connected to the tzaddik, you're connected to Atzmas and Hussein Zav Baruch Hu. And when you're connected to the tzaddik and you're connected to Atzmas and Hussein Zav Baruch Hu, schleppt er areis. Weißt du, von Aloschen und Zeyer.
Das der Rebbe Schitte gewähnt. Ganz nicht mit den Zillen legen.
Zu binden a Yid zum Rebbe. Weißt, ich habe a chaver that he made a tefillin app about a year and a half ago. You know what it means, a tefillin app? That there's two sides to the tefillin app. One side to the tefillin app is if you want to put on tefillin, type in where you are. And the other side to the tefillin app is if you want to put tefillin on people, you could find people. So many Nat Lubavitchers joined. Hundreds of
my father used it in the hospital.
Your father himself. Was macht dein Tate?
Darf für 4, aber selbst helfen.
Is der Haus in Spital?
Nein, ist in der Heim, aber darf für 4.
Lebt in Borough Park, ja?
Flatbush.
Oh. But a lot of non-Lubavitchers, to go to a stranger on the street is hard for them. But to have a phone, and you get a message that at 2 blocks from here, there's a Yid who wants to put on film, they run, they put film on Yid. They're connected to the Rebbe. I have a cousin, Agreisiv is Nagid. At the Benteda, the big Talmud Chacham. So he had a situation. What was the situation? His wife went into labor on the Rosh Hashanah. So he went with her to the hospital from Muncie into the city. And it's a little bit Tchum. Lenin can it. So he knows the halach is you're allowed to cross the Tchum for Pekuach Nefesh. But once you cross the Tchum for Pekuach Nefesh, you're not allowed to go out of your Dalar Amis. So he couldn't leave the hospital. So all around him is shuls. He has no shefer. So he went to the Goyish chaplain and said, "Is there a Jewish chaplain in the hospital?" And whatever the chaplain is coming, the chaplain is that. He says, "I need a shefer." So it took a while for the guy to figure out, "You mean the horn?" And she went into the office and she gave him a shefer. My cousin was so excited that he went and blew shefer with Kama V'Kama Yidden. He's b'chlal not shaykh to such a thing. But he himself he was not going to hear a shefer. And the Goyish chaplain, I think she was a chaplain, a female chaplain, said, the horn, and she gave him the shefer. So versteht sich, he blew for himself, and the Ravaz gegangen, and he blew shefer nach a paar Yidden. So we heard the story, my Yizaydas Yartzeit, is right before the Kinnis HaShluchim. So he said, okay, I should get invited to the Kinnis, and I can come in. This is the story. So that's the point. The point is how to connection.
Het geweld essen van hem Shorabar.
Ik wil dat mijn cousin.
Het geweld essen met de kinderen schlugen, maar het geweld essen van de Shorabar.
What's the Shorabar? I don't know.
Weil wenn man geht, die Kinder schlugen, seit in der Schier, wir seit man sagt, der Alme Dussi.
You were there?
Ja, warte.
How'd you get invited?
Ich hab mich reingegangen, weil I couldn't miss it, and I couldn't stop crying.
How many times did you go?
Twice.
It's an incredible tia.
Ich hab nicht aufgehört zu weinen.
Yeah. Aber da haben die Gula B'Payil Mamish. To have Mashiach in one room for one evening is a Zelo Zeh. Da find him in the ganze Welt. I got a message from an organization. Well, the Babish organization, Du Mitzvayim, that they're asking Mashpiyim to explain something to them. What is the issue? That the Rebbe spoke that Lahavdil Goyim, everybody should do acts of goodness and kindness to hasten the coming of Mashiach. So the shaila is, what's the definition of goodness and kindness? Because there's 101 pshatim of goodness and kindness, and one person's goodness, another person's achzarias. So they asked me the question in an email, and I said, listen, it's hard for me to write it. You send me a WhatsApp, I'll send you a voice. So they sent me today a WhatsApp, and I responded. And this is a personal feeling that I have. Kula alma moide. Everybody agrees that a mitzvah that the Eibishter gave, and Avramovich at time gekocht, which is a good thing, is stuck. But you want to disagree with other mitzvahs, but with stock, everybody agrees. And the halacha is im kesef tal ves ami es ha'oni imach. That the first person you have to give tzedakah is the person closest to you. That means your wife, or your husband, or your children, or your parents, or your siblings. And the fact is, especially in America doesn't believe in family b'chlal. But b'chlal in the modern world, we lost
The Rambam sagt doch, als Mitzvah zu haben zu tun, müssen wir nun eben bei der eigenen Kreuz.
Also ich hätte schon noch, Sadin, yes, Apostel sagt, aber es ist Rambam, Sadin, yeah. Why is it that way? Why? Because everybody likes to help the strangers. The people close to you is very hard to help. Why? Because you have cheshbonis with them, you have deals with them, you have competition with them, you have tightness. And the Torah says tzedakah starts where it's the hardest. Who is it the hardest? To be nice to the person closest to you. Because that tzedakah is not just giving $1, it's a tziruf, it's a tikkun, it's a birur. And I'm saying this agabe Mashiach. You bring Mashiach through giving tzedakah. To whom? To your father. To your brother you can't stand. To your sister you can't stand. To your child that you don't get along with. And your spouse. It's not completely not matzoi that it's very, very hard to be kind to the people closest to ourselves. Remember, there's people in this world who are incredibly kind, and they treat their spouses terribly. Them and vayish them, and them and vaza them, and everything. And Torah says that because when you give tzedakah to the person closest to you, you have to give a piece of yourself, not just $1. And that's what the Rambam writes, Hakelef Ireva Maisa, that when you give tzedakah, you're mavada your midas, you get midas tevis.
No, they tell a story, I read in English, that the andere sollen verstehen. They tell a story when the Heilige Rishner was very young. I think he was 6 years old. He became a chassan to a Yid, his name was Reb Moshe, the Rosh Hashiva in Baditchev. And the Kedusha slave, the Baditchev was still alive then. And the Rishner was a young child. He was his father wasn't alive anymore. But his mother brought him to Baditchev, whatever, Sprechen, Teller, whatever it was.
Wie geheißen der Mame? Wie geheißen der Baditchev Mame?
Chava.
Not Brocha?
Nein.
You sure?
Yeah.
The wife of the Menzitcher Magid was Chava.
Und der Heilige Rishon ist Mamet geheißen Chave. Ja, so ben Chave.
Und wie geheißen der Malach, Rebbetzin? Der Malach.
Malachs Rebbetzin,
Maybe Bracha?
kann sein. Ist möglich. Ich kann es noch kicken. Aber Eike, der Rishon, wenn ein Jüngel, der Brunnen zu Baditsch. Der heilige Baditsch wird gemacht, dass du dich wollte kosten. In zum Kampot hat man gebringt Flammen.
Plums.
Ja, Plums. In der Baditsch, der heilige Baditsch he took the spoon, he took a flam in his Löffel, und er hat sich gegeben eine Flamme von der Chef. Der ist nicht gewesen, ein Jüngel von 6 Jahren. Er genommen dem Löffel, he cut open the flame, and when he came to the pit, hat er sich umgerufen, von uns ist genug a Kettle.
A candle.
A Kettle. Pshat ist, als der Baditsch wird gesucht mit der Flammen. Der Heilige ist gesagt, dass hier gibt es a Kettle.
Oh, a kettle.
Anything.
Ja, verschau achas.
Anything.
Ein Kettle.
A Kettle. Gibt es a Kettle. Das ist
Ja.
schon genug von... Das ist scheich für uns da.
Ja. Der Heilige Rishon. Der Rishon hat gesagt auf sich, ich kann nicht schreiben. Weil schreiben lernt man sich als Kind. Ich bin keinmal kein Kind nicht gewesen. Der Heilige Rishon. We had a Yid in Crown Heights. His name was Mordechai Feder, Allah Hashem. He was a tzaddik.
Ich denke,
He's a soft yom of the Border Park. He left the Mordechai Feder. Till his Rebbetzin passed away, he left the... Has man erzählt einmal, hat mir erzählt.
es gewinnt eine Welt zu kosten.
Ja. Hat gesehen im Heiligen Belser vor den Augen bis am letzten Tag. Mamisch. So hat mir erzählt, als in Eretz Yisrael gewinnt du Hosjatener. Ich bin ein Rüschner Renikel. Du Hosjatener gewinnt so groß, hat der Belser vergehen ihm für ein Quittel. You know that? Der Belser vergehen des Hosjatener für ein Quittel. I think it must have been the Malach. I thought it was the Rishon's mother, it was the Rishon's grandmother. The guys in the Baba Bruche. Als de Malach hat weg sehr jung. So a Meise, ich weiß nicht, der Meise ist Emes, was so dasselbe Meise in der Gemara ist. Als der Chernobyl hat gewollt nehmen, der Malachs Rebbetzin in Bezivik Sheni. Und sie hat gehad a Cholem, als gesehen der Mann, und der Mann ist gestanden beim Teuer von einem Palaz, und hat gebrummt wie ein Leib, wer wagt reinzugehen in mein Palaz. She didn't get married. She moved to Eretz Yisrael, and she became a koves. She used to wash clothes, waschen Kleider. Als sie weg hat, bei Grob mehr geht's vor, ich weiß nicht, sie in Jerusalem, sie in andere Plätze. Und mit Bechlal nicht gewusst, wo sie lebt.
Alles.
Das Jahren ist gegangen, und sich gedreht und gedreht und gedreht und gedreht und gedreht. Jetzt stell ab. Mit dacht sich, als du liegt der Baba Bruche. So morgen had die Meise. You know the story. Du liegt der Baba. So it must have been the Malachs Rebbetzin. No? It Verwas sein Heint nicht doch in Tzadikim, verwas. Was soll er? Verwas sein Heint nicht doch in Tzadikim.
Der zählt am meisten. Ein ganz Hariches in am meisten. Obwohl der Heilige Rishon, er fleckt der Reus von jeden Tod, fleckt der Reus von Schöpfen frische Luft, hat das geheißen.
Verspazieren,
ja. Und jedes Mal fleckt er mitnehmen einen von den Kindern. Ich bin einmal Indien mit der Meisse, mit einer Schamme, eine ganze Meisse. Dort, was hat sich geendigt, hat gefragt, sein Sohn, was gewinnt mit dem. Schulmel, hast du gesehen, was gewinnt? Der Tat, ich habe nicht gesehen. Der was hast du nicht gesehen? Der esst sie viel Fleisch. Gefragt, was ist ein Stock in Tzadikim?
Oh, no, that's not a good teretz.
No?
That's not a good teretz. No. Tzadikim seien von Himmel. Na, sich nicht. Tzadikim seien von Himmel. No. Es ist nicht doch ein Tzadikim, weil der Eibischte will nicht, also sein Tzadikim. Aber für was? Das ist ein bisschen eine Quire, und am die Internet will ich noch haben von dem Klepp. Der Baal Shem Tov hat gebracht auf die Welt ein Koyach. Und der Koyach hat mit sich gebracht als Tzadikim. Es hat sich ausgelost, Jossele. Es hat sich ausgelost.
Wie kann es sein, man sagt noch von der Tschernobyl Magid, der Mottel der Tschernobyl, als Ayid, was es dann bei Achris Hayomim, und es gibt mal Krechts mit der Emmeskeit, mit der Beunenschleudern, ist alles mit Koyach der Baal Shem.
Ja, aber Tzadikim.
Oh.
Tzadikim, and I don't mean the Rebbes. I have a fetish, don't mean the Rebbes. I mean the gute Yidden. The Rebbes hat einmal ein Rebbe mit Alamed. Der Baal Shem Tov hat gebracht der Koyach auf der Welt. Sollst du wissen, als beim Baal Shem Tov sind gewähnt Yidden, was hunderte Jahre fremd ist, wenn er sagt Tzadikim. Es ist nicht der Pshat, als die Tzadikim beim Baal Shem Tov sind gewähnt auf Jerech der Dor. Ganz nicht. Du weißt du meistens mit dem Barren an Gottel, weißt du bist da, ja? Mit der Boschel Storlne. Alle meistens weißt du. Du weißt nicht meistens, der Boschel Storlne, ich bin ein Kind. Von einem Paar, ich weiß 7 Jahre. Und er gewinnt bei Magid, es ist gewinnt jemand an Yossem. Es gewinnt bei der Magid jemand an Jida, an Odom Choshuv. Was an Jiches ist gewesen, als gewinnt als ein Einikel von der Megala Amukis. Und gewinnt ein Einikel von der Bach. Und der Boschel Storlne, du weißt der Meister, ja? Hat sich mit dem verzeppet. Der Boschel hat sich verzeppet. Ist gegangen zu der Magid, der Chutzpah von einem Kind. Hat der Magid gesagt, ich will dir sagen, wer der Engel ist. Aber ich will sagen, wer der Engel ist, will ich sagen, welche deine Seite sind gewesen. Hat er gesagt, als der Bach ist weg von der Welt, hat man, ich weiß, 60 Tage gekillt dem Gehennem, auch gekillt dem Gehennem, der Bach soll durchgehen. Und man geht zu dem Galamuk, erzählt die ganze Meise, weißt doch, mit Neljohanov, mit Golos. Und danach hat er gesagt, dass die 2 Tzadikim wollten alles weggeben, zu einem Kukton durch einen Spalt in der Ganeden von der Jüngeres Vater. Du weißt, was meint Megala Mukes? Du weißt, was meint der Bach? Und wenn ein Talmud von der Mitzvah Magid, sie gewinnen als solche, der Baal Shem Tov hat gebracht mit sich ein Koyach, und sie gewinnen als Sach Tzadikim. You understand? The only thing left is Mashiach. That's it. Mashiach.
Ich habe getracht, also, ich dachte, was sie sucht. Also der Beunenschleudern hat gesehen, alle Jahre, hat gewollt bringen, Azaklem, ist Säurenus. Wir gelaufen zum Reben, der Rebbe gleich rausgenommen. Der Beunenschleudern will, nein, ich will ein Emesse Krechts, ich will mir so bringen, Mashiach.
I don't know.
Man sehr verklemmt.
Oi, mit der Krechtson ist, weil man hat ein Scheiches mit der Zadig. Aber ist nicht an der Schweiz, wie die ganze Eulung läuft in Lezhensk und in Uman. Und ich mache es nicht weg. I'm not saying it bederach Schlila. I'm saying that Menschen laufen zu der Karastire. They want to be connected to Tzaddik. Fertig. Because I'm verbunden mit Tzaddik, ist verbunden mit dem Eibischten. Und ich bin nicht so verbunden mit dem Tzaddik. Die Ende hat Tommy nicht alle sagen mit dem Meul, aber der Mais.
Der Karastire ist weg 10 Jahre zurück.
Wie Scheile Karastire, der weg 10 Jahre zurück.
Ja.
Come on, the one with the Achborim passed away 10 years ago? No.
Yeah. Because before 10 years, nobody knew who he was.
So what happened 10 years ago?
Mir gewohnt, man, ist weg, ich weiß nicht.
No, but how did he become such a big Matthias all of a sudden?
Jeden sicher. People are looking. Man sieht man sieht dort, da steht zu sitzen mit der gute sicher. Oder ein Stückel Tanje.
So, but why the kind of steer this? I felt tzaddikim.
Because people look for the easy way out. A Stückel Busse beim Kalestinen und ich will mir Kirchen zu mir Bäumen schlagen.
Ja, aber a Stückel Busser beim Heiligen Baal Shem Tov dieselbe Sache.
Fein. Nimm mal eine gute sicheres Lernen.
Yeah.
Nein, a Stückel Tanje.
Tu a gute Sache. Sei makar vayiden. Seit kommen a Zeit, Jossel, als alle Jiden in der Welt wollen tun Mitzvas Hatefilla. Nicht nur sollen lernen, Lekute Sicher, sollen tun bepoil Mitzvas Hatefilla. Sollen auslernen a Goy, am darf Makayim sein Sheve Mitzvahs B'nai Noach.
Weil Moshe Emes ist ein Rossi Emes.
Ja.
Und in der alle Jahren, also wie der Erevrab. Der Erevrab hat sich gekriegt auf Moshe Rabbeinu. Und zum Sof haben alle gedacht, Stein, aber die B'nai Koidach, und ich immer gesagt, dass Stein, Moshe Emes ist ein Rossi Emes. Und also ist ein Teuche. Der Moshe Rabbeinu von dem Dor, es gewähnt Emes, da Philipp hat die besonders schon erkennt. Und ein bald uns der Stein, Moshe Emes ist ein Rossi Emes. Der Geil Stein.
That's the story. The Karastira was at Chias HaMesim 10 years ago. That's the word. In ich hab gemeint. Anyway. Okay, Rabbi said we'll stop the Fabringen now. It's very quiet. If the boys want to say something, I'll listen. Otherwise, we're going to end the Fabringen. This is a Yossel ret mit Yossel. Yossel ret mit Yossel. Who's there? Who's in the background? Your son? Wer der junge Mann dort hinter dir? Es ist dein Edim. Ah?
Mein Sohn, Moshe, komm her.
Aber ich habe gemeint, lebt in Muncie.
Ist gekommen bei sich.
Ah. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom.
The Tata sagt, as he learned, what Tanya learned, you made a siyam on. What did you make a siyam on? What was you telling me you put him?
Samachvov.
Samachvov. Wow.
Ja.
Shalom Aleichem.
I don't know the Samas. Als ik gezegd heb, ik de Samas in Yerushalayim.
So you knew fit you often, Harav fit you often.
Fit you often, Mendel the Wilhelm.
Okay, dan hebben we de gule schleime. Shalom Aleichem.
En dan kunnen we nog wat verbrengen.
Okay.
Dat is niet dat kloonheid. Where'd he go? He left?
Who left?
Oh, it's the Rabbi.
Ja.
What should we do practically? What should we learn out practically from for Gimel Tammuz?
I think that it's very, very important that we have a practical achlata. In other words, we can talk hergeshim and the exotic things about the Rebbe and about his kashas, and they're all true and they're all important. I think we have to make a practical resolution. Now, Shnei Zaman, I don't know you, so I don't know exactly what medicine you need. We all need medicine. But you have a week to decide on one thing that you're weak in, that you're abgeschwacht, that you're not so strong in, that you're going to strengthen yourself for the sake of his kashrus. For example, even if it's Pashat Chitas, or Rambam, or Miftsoyim, something that the Rebbe said to do, that's critical. It's very, very, very important that there should be a practical side to whatever Hachotas Tevis we make, whatever feelings of his kashrus we have. The best way to have an increase in the connection to the Rebbe is to do more action. And it's very, very realistic. Because the Rebbe gave us so many different Heiros. All you have to choose is one. But this one you have to keep. Verstehst du, was ich sag, schnell zusammen?
Yeah.
That's a very real thing. And then along with that, there is the feelings and there's the experiences and so on. But that has to be. That has to be. That has to be. That has to be.
Maybe you could speak a little bit about Chav Chasivan.
I'll tell you something about Chav Chasivan. We all knew that the Rebbe came to America at the end of Sivan. We didn't know the date exactly, even though it was probably very easy to figure out. We didn't know the date. Because in Hayom Yom it simply says Sivan Tavshin Aleph Magiel New York. It doesn't say a date, just a month. So when I was in yeshiva, it was probably Mem Daled. Bet 11, the Rebbe's librarian, worked on the Igros Kodesh of the Fried. At that time, he was working on the Friedrich Rebbe's Igros Kodesh. Before he started working on the Rebbe's, he worked on the Friedrich Rebbe's Igros Kodesh. So he came across a letter that the Friedrich Rebbe wrote on this date, Monday Chof Ches Sivan Tavshin Aleph, to a big chassid, a very famous chassid by the name of Rab David Meir Rabinovich, the Radam. And in this letter, Haim Ezev, he writes to him that today, Baruch Hashem, my son, my daughter, and my son-in-law came to New York, and he writes to him, please be media to your son, Mar Osher, that Rab David Meir Rabinovich had a son named Osher, Asker. He was a lawyer. And he lived in Washington, and he was the one who saved the Rebbe's life. But Derech HaTeva, he was the one who saved the Rebbe's life with the immigration department. So the Rebbe wrote a letter to his father telling him that my son-in-law came. Please tell your son, Osher. So we now had a date. We knew a date, Chof Ches Sivan. So that year, so Meir Harlig Zogazunzan always made a big fabring in the Shchedish Kislev. So they decided to make another big fabring, and Chof Ches Sivan, a fabring for the day the Rebbe came to America. So the Shabbos before he got up by the Rebbe with a bottle of mashke, as the minig was, and he announced that Chof Ches Sivan, the day that the Rebbe came to America, there's going to be a big fabring. And the Rebbe said loud, but with a big chayis, Ishu Beisei, I'll never forget it, Ishu Beisei, which means I didn't come alone. Ishu Beisei, I came with the Rebbe's. So that's my story for Chof Ches Sivan. In Tavshin and Aleph, 1991, it was 50 years since the Rebbe came. The Rebbe spoke a Sturm de Gesiche about Chatzika de Ratachna. It was an unbelievable Siche. The Rebbe had gone to the oil that day. The Rebbe had gone to the oil. And the Rebbe was going to give out a kuntris, Chof Ches Sivan. And we pushed the Rachmanis on the Rebbe. He stood a whole day by the oil. He was fasting. The Rebbe davened Mincha, the Rebbe davened Ma'ariv. He said for 4 months giving kuntresim. So they made a trick. After Ma'ariv, Velvel Katzler Gezunzan got up and he made an announcement. The Kunteresim, that's Punkt, Kunteresim, weißt du? Kunteresim. Seid noch nicht angekommen, the Kunteresim have not yet arrived. Wir machen jetzt a hefsek, we'll make a hefsek, and they wanted him to go upstairs, you should eat something, you should sit, push it, and then I'll give the Kunteresim from the place where he gave dollars. So the Rebbe steps forward, and he says, anstatt machen a hefsek, wird machen a hemshech. And he spoke another siche. So all of a sudden, the Kunteresim arrived. The Kunteresim. So he spoke after Minche, that they davened Ma'ariv. And then he spoke again. And then the Rebbe Kunteresim, bis ich weiß, wie viel singen. You heard, Zalman?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a maise. I'll tell you a story. You want to start with Chof Ches Sivan? You live in Chicago, right?
Cincinnati.
Oh, Cincinnati. I was in Chicago a few times. And there's a yeshiva in Chicago. And the Rosh Yeshiva's name is Rav Moshe Ben Yamin Perlstein, Rabbi Perlstein. He's a really successful, he's a successful mechanech. Rabbi Perlstein is a grandson of Villiger. Weet je, hij is de meest namen zijn?
Motu.
Mordechai Villiger was his grandfather. The Mordechai Villiger was like his own person. He didn't. He had a shaykhs to Munkash before the Muhammad, but in America he was a villager chassid. If he had a shaykhs any place, it was in Lubavitch. He told me that when he turned 70, they wanted to give him a matana, so they gave him a picture of the Rebbe, and he was miyakered. Wow, by him. The Rebbe was very tight. He lived in Crown Heights for many, many years. So the Mordechai Villiger's son was a Benjamin Villiger. Benjamin Villiger lived in Crown Heights also for many, many years. Benjamin Villiger learned Tem Chapimim here in New York, in Lubavitch. And he was very close to the Kloisenberger Rebbe. He was the point man between the Kloisenberger and the Rebbe. He was going back and forth between the two of them. If you wanted to see the Rebbe, he would have to wait 3 months. If he came with the Shlichus and the Kloisenberger, he went in that day. The Benjamin Villiger. So Rabbi Perlstein told me an unbelievable story. Shnei Zalman, you can hear me, yeah?
Yes.
Rabbi Perlstein, I met in the Kamais. I was in Chicago 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He was saying Kaddish for his mother. Rabbi Perlstein Kaddish for his mother. His mother had passed away. He was saying Kaddish for her. So obviously he sat Shiva. When he sat Shiva, his uncle, Rabbi Yamin Villiger, his mother's brother, sat with him. Rabbi Yamin Villiger was about 93. He was a very, very old man. He would live another few months before he himself would die, pass away. And Rabbi Yamin Villiger is one of the most important Askanim in New York. He's a very prominent man, very well known and very well respected. So everybody came to Menachem Avol. Chassidim and Misnagdim, alle Kreisen, everybody came to Menachem Avol. They didn't come to be Menachem Avol, Rabbi Perlstein. They came to be Menachem Avol, his uncle, Yamin Villiger. So amongst the Menachemim were some Misnagdim Shalosh Yeshivas from the yeshiva which is called Beis HaTalmud. Beis HaTalmud is an American yeshiva that's based on one of the great yeshivas of Litte. I forgot which one, but it's not a new Metzias, it's an old Metzias. It's like Tells or Brisk. I forgot what, but by Beis HaTalmud is a very, very old yeshiva. And there are a lot of big Misnagdim in Beis HaTalmud. So they came to be Menachem Avol, and they made a joke about the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I think the joke is very tasteful. I happen to like the joke. It doesn't insult me at all. What's the joke? The joke is, was the chilik zwischen Moshe Rabbeinu mit dem Lubavitcher Rebbe? What's the difference between Moshe Rabbeinu? And he said like this. He said, Moshe Rabbeinu, everybody knows that he passed away, but nobody knows where he's buried. The Lubavitcher Rebbe, nobody knows if he passed away, but everybody knows where he's buried. I think that's tasteful. In other words, they're admitting that when they got a problem, they also go to Queens, you know. But this was the word, yeah. Moshe Rabbeinu, everybody knows that he passes away, nobody knows where he licked. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe, everybody knows where he is, but nobody knows whether he passed away or not. Okay. But Rabbi Yamin Villiger was very upset. He didn't think it was funny at all. And he turns to these two Litvish Rosh Yeshivas. He spoke in Yiddish. He said, I want to ask you a question. Rabbi Yamin Villiger came to America in 1938 or 39. You have to understand. He was in America for 80 years. He came before the war, before the Holocaust. When the Frierdiker Rebbe came to America, he was Makabel upon the Frierdiker Rebbe by the boat. He was a Chassidish Bacher. His son once spoke by Siyam Rambam. He says that my father went to Frierdiker Rebbe as a chassan, and the Frierdiker Rebbe gave him a bracha by Unachas Hayad al Rosh to the chuppah. And if I'm not mistaken, he went into the Rebbe. He told the Rebbe that the Frierdiker Rebbe gave my father a bracha. I went from the Rebbe a bracha, and I think the Rebbe also gave him, but I could be wrong about that prat. Anyway, he says, I'm asking you a question. He says, if all the Gedolim had come to America, and he listed Reb Moshe Feinstein and Rav Ruderman and Reb Aaron Kotler and the Satmar Rebbe and the Kloisenberger Rebbe and the Skverer Rebbe had come to America, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe had stayed in Europe. He says, how would Yiddishkeit in America look? He asked. He says, I'll tell you. The same way it looked 75 years ago in Brownsville. A couple of alte Yidden in a stiebel that's old and broken and rancid and run down. And the children... And what would happen if the Lubavitcher Rebbe would come to America and none of the Gedolim would come to America? Not the Satmar Rebbe, not the Kloisenberger Rebbe, not the Skverer Rebbe, and not the Harav Ruderman and the Aaron Kotler and the Al Gedolim. He says, how would Yiddishkeit look in America today? He says, I'll tell you how it'll look. Exactly the way it looks now. That's what he says.
That's a goodness.
Satifkeit. This is a Ezel Chochem Ares HaNeila. That's what that is. It's a tiefkeit. It's a sensitivity. It's a sensitivity. He was a smart man. He went, look at it. He knew what was going on. Now, why did I tell that story? There's a reason I told the story. You asked me a question, Shneir.
Als Chavches.
Oh, Chavches 7. Yeah. I met a Yid who was a counselor in Dora Golding. Dora Golding is a Misnagdisha camp. He was a counselor there in the late 60s. And he had a shaykhis with Lubavitch. And the Rebbe asked him whether they served the children Cholav Yisrael. Now in those days, nobody drank Cholav Yisrael. Misnagdim, no one drank Cholav Yisrael. And the Rebbe said, "Just einführen in Dora Golding, Cholav Yisrael." It was the first Litvische camp they served Cholav Yisrael. Today, who does drink Cholav Yisrael? And you don't understand. Today, it's not a big deal. Then it was a Milchama. And in every Indian, that was the Rebbe. He pushed through Lechatchila Yiddishkeit and not B'diavad Yiddishkeit, not just in Lubavitch. In every area.
Das ist Pshat, man should have been from him da.
Step Pshat, am Dav haben, de Gula, am Mites, was Schleima. Als ich sein mit den Rebben. Als sein Mashiach. Beteva Nirva Nigle. Weißt du was, der Rebbe hat geschrien, ich hoffe, es Nissen, der Rebbe geschrien, weiß ich, ob es Nissen. Was nicht da kein Tzaddik. That's why he screamed. That me ken nicht warten noch a Tag auf Mashiach. Was nicht da kein Tzaddik. And I told you my pshat. My divrei kfire. Nicht weil man esst Fleisch. Nur weil der Baal Shem Tov's Keren hat sich ausgelost. Okay, Kinderlach, thank you for joining. We're gonna end the Fabringen now. Me'ezev, you want to say something?
No, shkoyach.
Thank you for coming and joining. Eliezer Tzvi, you there? Eliezer Tzvi.
A Freiliche Shabbos.
Ja, a good Chodesh and a good Shabbos. Mit a great Zech of Gimel Tammuz. It's Shabbos and Vorchim. Chaim Menashe Shlite. Thank you for joining. Okay.
Shkoyach.
So gesund. We want Mashiach now.
Thank you.
Yeah, we want Mashiach now. Thank you for joining.
Dalai Golas, we want Mashiach now.
That's right. You bet.